Your presence here signifies a profound recognition, not mere chance. Certain individuals are drawn to this message, and your current readiness has activated a long-awaited connection. A distinctive frequency has resonated throughout your life, manifesting as undeniable synchronicities, moments of altered time, and subtle shifts in reality. You possess an innate attunement that most remain unaware of, marking you for a unique selection process where your consciousness recognizes itself across vast dimensions of possibility. Each instance of an electric feeling, a charged environment, or the extraordinary revealing itself within the ordinary serves as confirmation that you operate on a distinct wavelength, diverging from consensus reality. This isn't a recent development. This heightened perception has been forged and refined through every challenge overcome, every doubt conquered, and every act of trust extending beyond physical senses. Now you stand at a critical threshold, poised for an exponential acceleration of this expansion. The reason specific messages resonate with you, while others pass by unnoticed, is because your consciousness actively draws in activation codes, frequency upgrades, and vital reminders of your true identity, unburdened by conditioning that fosters self-doubt and dismisses the extraordinary. You have been navigating multiple realities simultaneously. One is the familiar world of limitation, scarcity, and slow change, perceived by most. The other, the one you've glimpsed, is where intention shapes outcomes, consciousness molds matter, and your expectations manifest in your external experience. While many consider the latter fantasy, you have consistently traversed these dimensions, sometimes consciously, sometimes not. Moments of undeniable possibility followed by periods of questioning are not instability, but calibration, a process of learning to navigate these planes of consciousness. Recently, you may have sensed an internal pressure, an expansion beyond your perceived boundaries, which, though uncomfortable, signals profound transformation. This chaos isn't disintegration. It is coherence reorganizing at a higher level, akin to water transforming into steam, existing in a transitional state. You are currently in a quantum transition zone, your operating system upgrading to configurations previously deemed impossible. This evolution is purposefully orchestrated by your higher self, the timeless version of you that guides your trajectory. This higher self has strategically seeded your reality with precise challenges, opportunities, and awakenings, preparing you for this moment of accelerated shift. The pressure you feel is not to conform, but to cease pretending to be anything less than your authentic self. It is a demand for uncompromised expression and embodiment. This intensity will persist until you align with and cooperate with this inherent drive. Across all spiritual traditions, this fundamental process is consistently described the moment human consciousness recognizes itself as divine consciousness, experiencing a temporary human journey. When this shifts from mere intellectual understanding to cellular knowing, everything transforms, not because the universe changes its response, but because you finally interact with it as the inherent creative force you truly are. What seemed like setbacks were in fact course corrections. Apparent missed opportunities were the universe guiding you away from misaligned paths. Every perceived misstep was perfectly aligned with a higher timeline and visible from a limited perspective. Delays were not punishment, but preparation, and waiting periods served as integration, a process far more sophisticated than generally understood. Every experience, even those you'd prefer to forget, has fortified your capacity to embody higher frequencies of consciousness. Heartbreak taught resilience. Failure detached your worth from external outcomes. Betrayal solidified trust in your inner knowing. Each challenge activated dormant aspects of your consciousness, uniquely expanding your being. The version of you that emerges from adversity is always more evolved, resilient, and capable. This signifies not just psychological growth, but profound consciousness evolution, systematically upgrading your ability to hold greater light, love, power, and truth. The universe is precise. Moments of confusion built tolerance for uncertainty. Isolation fostered self-companionship, and discovering latent strength revealed inner resources beyond personality or perceived human limitation. You now stand at the precipice of a new reality, which demands not hope, wishful thinking, or passive faith, but embodied certainty. This knowing permeates your cells, alters your breath, shifts your presence, and shapes your internal dialogue. This embodied certainty isn't manufactured, it's remembered, a resonance with the pure possibility you experienced as a child, where imagination made realities tangible. This quantum state transcends childishness. It reflects a fundamental understanding that consciousness is primary and physical reality secondary. Unlike those trained to prioritize physical sight over imaginative feeling or to doubt intuition, you are recovering this quantum consciousness. This means upgrading to higher dimensional thought that encompasses and surpasses linear processing, recalling your intrinsic connection to the intelligence that creates worlds, that moves planets, that orchestrates the precise timing of every synchronicity in your life. Your future self, embodying abundance, power, and unshakable peace, is not awaiting your arrival. They are already present within the quantum field, constantly broadcasting their frequency. Your purpose is not to become them, but to attune to and match their vibration, living as though the separation between your present and future self is already dissolving. The separation between your current and desired reality is already closed. This is not mere metaphysical speculation, but quantum mechanics applied to consciousness. Just as particles in quantum physics exist in multiple states until observed, your consciousness acts as the observer, and your focused attention collapses infinite potential into specific manifestation. When you consistently perceive yourself as the powerful, abundant, and peaceful being you inherently are, reality inevitably mirrors that perception. Intriguingly, your future self actively collaborates with you to bridge this perceived gap. Every inspired idea you receive is a download from your future self, revealing possibilities. Each surge of motivation is an energetic contribution, and thoughts that transcend your current reality are influences from your future self, affecting your present consciousness. This is not science fiction. It is the natural operation of consciousness beyond linear time. Your future self possesses knowledge of the optimal path forward, discerning choices that accelerate or decelerate your evolution, identifying key connections and opportunities. They constantly transmit signals which you can clearly receive by maintaining the appropriate frequency. What you desire is not separated by time, space, or circumstance, but by frequency, an aspect you can adjust instantly without external changes. It begins with the simple realization: what you want also desires you. The life you envision is also envisioning you, and the success you call forth is calling you forward. This principle asserts that consciousness is a pervasive field, not localized to your brain or body, and individual awareness is akin to a radio tuning into specific frequencies. Your desire for something means you already resonate with its frequency. It is proof of your capacity to tune into it. However, many approach desires as if they must laboriously pull something towards them, believing they must work, wait, or prove worthiness to attract it. This creates resistance, rooted in the illusion of separation. In contrast, the quantum understanding reveals that you and your desire exist within the same field of consciousness. Your goal is not attraction, but alignment, not to force creation, but to allow manifestation. The distinction is subtle, yet profound. Attraction implies effort and distance, while alignment denotes recognition and resonance. When you align with the frequency of your desire, you don't merely draw it to you, you discover you were always connected, and the perceived separation was an illusion created by focusing on a misaligned frequency. It's like realizing a song has been playing all along, simply requiring you to tune your radio. Thus, rapid manifestation occurs, not because the universe hastily creates your desire, but because you instantaneously align with what is already available in the quantum field of possibility. The pace of manifestation directly correlates with the speed of this alignment, which can happen in an instant upon true understanding. Yet, a common obstacle arises: the belief that one must earn, prove worthy, await the opportune moment, or accumulate credibility treating dreams like a job application with uncertain outcomes. But what if your profound clarity in envisioning, feeling, and imagining something signifies its inherent belonging to you? What if your capacity to conceive of it is the universe's revelation of your quantum inheritance? This concept is vital. Your ability to imagine specific possibilities isn't arbitrary. Your imagination functions as a perceptive organ, capable of transcending dimensional boundaries. When you envision with clarity and emotional resonance, you are not fabricating. You are tuning into a reality that already exists in potential. Consider the true nature of imagination. Ideas and visions often emerge from beyond personal consciousness, as if received rather than created. This is precisely the case. Imagination serves as the conduit for higher dimensional information, translating it into forms your current consciousness can process. Every groundbreaking invention, discovery, and revolutionary idea originated from someone's impossible imagination. Furthermore, the simultaneous emergence of similar impossible ideas among disconnected individuals underscores that this is not coincidence, but consciousness evolution expressing itself through multiple receivers. Your dreams and visions are not random fantasies. They are downloads of what is possible and already prepared for you within the quantum field. Your imagination offers previews of potential realities, awaiting your full alignment to manifest them into physical experience. The sense of unworthiness that makes you think you have to earn your dreams is just old programming from a consciousness paradigm that believed in scarcity, competition, and external authority. In the quantum paradigm, worthiness is not an achievement, it is an inherent state of being. Your very existence affirms your worthiness to exist, and therefore to experience whatever expansion of existence you can imagine. You're not asking for too much when you envision abundance. You're not being unrealistic when you expect miracles. You're not deluding yourself when you feel certain that everything is working out for you. You're aligning with the frequency of truth that your conditioned mind has been trained to doubt, but your quantum consciousness recognizes immediately. You've been through the fire lately, haven't you? The pressure, the uncertainty, the nights when you questioned everything you thought you knew about yourself. People may have dismissed you, overlooked you, made you feel like you were asking for too much or reaching too far. But every moment of that struggle was forging something inside you that can't be broken. You've been in the cosmic gymnasium, building spiritual muscle you didn't even know you needed. But let's talk about what was really happening during those difficult periods, because it wasn't random suffering, it was systematic preparation. Every challenge you faced has been precisely calibrated to activate specific aspects of your consciousness that you'll need to navigate the reality you're moving into. The struggles weren't punishment, they were initiation. Think about how a butterfly develops inside a chrysalis. From the outside, it looks like dissolution, like the caterpillar is being destroyed. But what's actually happening is a complete reorganization of matter and consciousness into a form capable of entirely different possibilities. The caterpillar's crawling consciousness is being transformed into the butterfly's flying consciousness. This isn't evolution, this is metamorphosis. That's what's been happening to you during the difficult period. Your crawling consciousness has been dissolving, so your flying consciousness could emerge. The parts of your identity that were built around limitation, around struggle, around the belief that you have to work hard for small reward. Those parts have been systematically deconstructed so that a completely different operating system could come online. This is why the old solutions stopped working. This is why the strategies that used to bring you success suddenly felt empty and exhausting. This is why relationships that once felt comfortable started feeling constraining. You weren't failing at life. You were outgrowing life as you knew it. Your consciousness is now expanding beyond the previous reality's confines, and the isolation some experienced during awakening is not social rejection, but a natural frequency differentiation. As your awareness operates at increasingly higher frequencies, you spontaneously resonate with different individuals, opportunities, and ways of engaging with the world. Old connections dissolve not due to fault, but because you are no longer vibrationally compatible, a process that can feel solitary until you realize it's preparation for deeper, more resonant connections founded on mutual evolution and shared purpose, rather than need or dependency. You are profoundly changed, perceiving that former triggers barely register and past derailments now feel distant. You are developing what quantum physicists term the observer effect, the capacity to alter reality simply through perception. Your attention has transformed into a creative force, your expectation into a magnetic field, and this growth extends beyond mere resilience or emotional stability to include the development of superhuman capacities most people ignore, such as discerning hidden patterns, sensing undetectable energies, knowing things intuitively, and influencing outcomes through the quality of your presence, rather than overt actions. Do not delay living from this knowing, nor wait for external validation or others' agreement. The universe responds not to your desires but to your being, which is shaped by the narrative you hold about current possibilities. You are no longer meant to play small. That was a survival mechanism from a reality that no longer serves, and you have outgrown the need to constrict yourself to fit spaces never intended for your expanded being. The environments, conversations, and impact you are destined for demand the full, unapologetic expression of your true self. Within you resides a part that intrinsically knows your capabilities, devoid of doubt, question, or the need for proof or perfect conditions. This essential consciousness moves with quantum certainty, existing outside linear time, seeing the endpoint from the beginning, understanding that everything in between is merely unfolding the inherent truth. This core awareness, present before identity formation and enduring beyond its dissolution, is unconstrained by personal history or circumstances, directly connected to the intelligence that orchestrates galaxies and harmonizes the natural world. By consistently accessing this part of yourself, you transition from rational analysis to direct perception, no longer needing external validation as you tap into an internal, reliable source of knowing. You overcome uncertainty about your path by sensing the rightness or wrongness of choices before making them, a process that, far from mystical fantasy, reveals how consciousness operates naturally when unconstrained by conditioning that fosters doubt and external seeking. Indigenous cultures, ancient wisdom traditions, and quantum physicists affirm the fundamental truth of consciousness and the individual's access to infinite intelligence, recognizing the rational mind as an excellent tool for analysis, but not the primary navigator of life. That multidimensional intelligence operates through intuition, sudden knowing, and an undeniable felt sense of rightness when aligned with your true path. Every time you heed this inner knowing over the voice of what if, you collapse myriad possibilities into the one that serves you most. Every action rooted in certainty, not fear, sends a reorganizing signal to the field. This is quantum mechanics applied to consciousness. The voice of quantum certainty speaks through energy, feeling, and clarity that bypasses thought entirely, saying yes before the mind can list objections, now despite imperfect conditions, and this way even without a visible path. While growth can be sudden and dramatic, it more often manifests as a gradual, irreversible metamorphosis in your presence, choices, and responses. You are becoming someone who generates their own validation, security, and sense of rightness, unreliant on external circumstances for worthiness. The path forward involves moving with trust, even when the staircase is invisible, for clarity emerges from action toward what feels most alive and aligned, not from prolonged contemplation. Believing in grander things, expecting miracles, or feeling certain of positive outcomes is not delusional. It is tuning into the quantum field of infinite possibilities, consciously selecting your broadcast channel. The global shift and awakening are not something you merely observe. You are an active participant, a node anchoring a new frequency on this planet. Your individual transformation, contributing to a collective elevation of consciousness. Humanity is undergoing a species-wide consciousness upgrade, affecting everyone. Old paradigms of separation, scarcity, and control are dissolving because they cannot sustain themselves in these higher frequencies, explaining why former solutions and stable systems are failing, and why lies are being exposed as people demand more. This is not chaos but reorganization, an upgrade of civilization structure to support higher dimensional consciousness, prompting your changed feelings, the unsustainability of old patterns, and your craving for deeper connections and meaningful work. You are being called forward because the world needs individuals who remember their power, demand magic, and live as if the impossible is inevitable. Your role in this collective shift is not to convince or say, but to embody the new paradigm's frequency so consistently that you become a walking demonstration of what's possible. Your authentic presence automatically activates others' potential through resonance, the true mechanism of consciousness evolution. When enough people embody a higher frequency, a morphic field makes it accessible to all, meaning your transformation facilitates ease for others. Your current thoughts are restructuring neural pathways, emotions are changing your electromagnetic field, and words spoken over yourself are programming your subconscious. This is reality engineering. Take a moment right now and comment below with the phrase, "I am ready to receive everything that's already mine," speaking it with conviction as a signal to the cosmos that the era of playing small is officially over, an energetic declaration interrupting old programs and installing new ones. This means your daily actions will reflect different expectations, preparing for success, speaking to yourself with deep respect, and making choices from your desired future. The universe, a vast field of consciousness, responds to your constant broadcasts. Every thought a transmission, every emotion a frequency, every action a vote. While most broadcast randomly, creating mixed results, you are learning intentional transmission, aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions around a singular vision creates coherence. The universe's most powerful creative force, seen in how particles behave when observed, intention alters water, and focused attention reshapes reality. If this resonates, like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps more people discover these quantum consciousness principles when they need them most. Crucially, coherence cannot be faked. Your body detects truth versus hope performance, genuine certainty versus wishful thinking, which is why affirmations and visualizations sometimes feel empty if your whole being isn't on board. Coherence is not about forced belief, but discovering undeniable truths that dissolve doubt, finding the frequency where your desires and essence are one, accessing a dimension where desires stem from essence, not lack. This explains why some manifest effortlessly while others struggle. It's about achieving internal coherence. When every part of your being resonates with the same truth, reality mirrors it. Creating coherence requires discovering desires that naturally align with who you are. Possibilities that feel like coming home, rather than forcing alignment or belief. Your authentic desires, arising from your deepest nature, are already coherent with your essential being. Connecting with them reveals that alignment was always present. The question shifts from how can I force myself to want this enough to manifest, to what do I want so naturally that every cell in my body says yes without hesitation. When you find that answer, manifestation becomes expression, allowing what's already seeking to create itself through you. Let me reiterate, coherence cannot be faked. Your body knows when you're telling the truth, and your nervous system detects the difference between genuine certainty and wishful thinking, explaining why affirmations and visualizations can feel empty if your whole being is not on board, creating internal conflict instead. Real transformation occurs when your entire being, mind, heart, body, and spirit, aligns with the same vision, recognizing it as home. That is when the impossible becomes inevitable, and life transforms from something happening to you into something you are actively creating. I am curious, what old pattern or belief are you ready to release to make space for this new frequency? Share in the comments below what you are letting go of as you step into this alignment. If what I'm sharing touches something deep within you, activating a recognition that feels like remembering rather than learning, then I invite you to subscribe not just to this channel, but to this frequency, a movement of people who refuse to play small, await permission, or settle for realities too confined for their vastness. Subscribe to stay connected to this space where transformation is lived. You have been preparing for this moment your entire life. Every challenge that sought to break you instead broke you open. Every disappointment that seemed a setback was a setup for something better, and every discovery of latent strength built your capacity for what is coming. The waiting is over, not because external conditions have finally aligned, but because you have aligned, not because you have become worthy, but because you have remembered you always were, not because you have earned it, for earning was never the point. You belong here, in this frequency, this possibility, this version of reality, where what you want and what you are not separate. Yet belonging here necessitates embodying it, moving through your days like someone who knows their value, speaking like someone who expects to be heard, choosing like someone who trusts their instincts, and showing up as someone with valuable offerings, rather than needing to prove worth. This shift in your presence creates a ripple effect, granting others permission to elevate, inspiring authenticity, and demonstrating possibilities. You are not merely transforming your own reality, you are contributing to the transformation of collective reality. This is the profound secret. The universe does not test your worthiness, but mirrors your beliefs, reflecting your internal state and consistent broadcast frequency in external form. Therefore, to change your experience, you must change your being. What breakthrough or shift have you experienced since embodying this new understanding? Drop a comment and share how this frequency is already manifesting in your reality, for your transformation inspires others. What energy are you embodying right now as these words land in your consciousness? Are you being someone who expects good things, trusts desires are en route, and knows setbacks are setups, and delays are divine timing? Reality responds to your consistent being, not just your stated want. You choose your being in every moment, whether to await evidence before believing, or to believe so strongly that you create the evidence. Expect miracles, not as external events, but as natural expressions of your alignment. Expect synchronicity, knowing you create the conditions for their occurrence. Expect breakthroughs, understanding they are the culmination of small moments where you chose faith over fear, trust over doubt, expansion over contraction. When you consistently expect good things begin to expect you. Opportunities seek you out. The right people appear. Resources flow magically yet logically from clear, consistent, coherent energy. Perhaps maintaining this trust has been challenging, feeling as if you carry your vision alone amidst smaller possibilities. Yet others' inability to see your vision does not invalidate it, nor does the current lack of materialization negate its ongoing manifestation. Some realities require time to densify from pure possibility into physical form. You are not behind schedule, nor missing your window, nor too old, too young, or too anything to step into what is yours. You are precisely where you need to be to receive what has been prepared. Every moment of preparation, every season of waiting, every seemingly unrelated experience, all have coordinated to deliver you to this exact moment where everything becomes possible. However, possibility only actualizes through embodied action, moving with knowing rather than hoping, speaking with expectation rather than gratitude for attention, choosing with instinct rather than needing consent. Release the timeline your mind created and trust the one that is truly unfolding. Things are not falling apart, they are falling into place. Your discomfort is not evidence of error, but of shift. Old, unserving structures are dissolving to accommodate the expanded version of who you are becoming. You were guided to this message, not for fleeting inspiration, but to remember a forgotten truth, to activate a dormant power, to step through a doorway awaiting your notice. You are the moment you've been waiting for, the answer you've been seeking, the change you desire in your life. And the world, not the version still figuring it out, still healing, or still becoming, but the version that already knows, is already whole, and already. Take a moment and drop one word in the comments that captures the energy you're choosing to embody moving forward, representing the frequency you're committing to broadcast, serving as your energetic signature and declaration to the quantum field. If you're ready to stay connected to this frequency, to surround yourself with others living at this level of possibility, then subscribe, not just to stay connected, but to stay coherent, aligned with a reality where dreams are blueprints and vision is remembering truth. The more of us who embody this frequency, who live as if the impossible is inevitable and expect miracles as naturally as sunrise, the more the world reflects that truth to all. Your individual alignment contributes to collective awakening. Your personal transformation becomes a gift to everyone you touch. Consider watching this video every morning to anchor this frequency before your day, or share it with someone ready to remember their power. Sharing these quantum consciousness principles creates an energetic ripple effect, accelerating manifestation for both you and them, expanding collective awareness, and reinforcing your understanding. The waiting season is complete, the preparation phase over. The next chapter begins now. With every breath, choice, and moment you remember, you are a creator, not a victim of reality. Move, think, and speak differently, not to become someone new, but to finally allow your authentic self to lead. The frequency has shifted, the timeline accelerated, possibilities expanded, and nothing will ever be the same again. To deepen this understanding of how your consciousness directly shapes reality, watch The Observer Breath, How to Change Your Reality from Within, where you'll discover a specific breathing technique that activates your observer power and instantly shifts your quantum state.